Welcome to the Recovery Centered Podcast, the space for honest conversation about healing, hope, and the journey through mental health and addiction recovery. Each episode, we sit down with people making a difference, from therapists and researchers to change makers and to survivors. Now to explore what recovery really looks like in the world. This podcast is produced in collaboration with Beachway Therapy Center. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast. I am your host, Tim Roberto. What an honor it is to be here. As usual, thank God it's Monday with my dear friend, Dr. Bloom. We've known each other for, oh my gosh, probably 10 years now. And boy, you want to talk about a game changer and a doer and an innovator and just a real deal. We're in for a treat with this podcast. Hello, Dr. Bloom. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm just all about helping people and getting the message out, just like you are.
Oh, 100%. I always say, I didn't say it this time, but I'll say it now. I'm a little lagging behind, I guess. We're always after that one person, just like that one person was always there for somebody else thousands and thousands of times over. And Dr. Bloom is that person. She's always there. She's always available, and she loves what she does. How long have you been doing it now?
Over 30 years, I've been a counselor, a team leader, a mentor
Inc-
for the last 25 plus. Yep.
Incredible, right? Now an author.
An author. Yeah.
Yeah. Practice. You have your own
Yeah. We
practice.
have a group practice now. I was solo practice for a few years from 2018 to 2023. And then now there's about 10 on our team now.
Yeah. And your credentials, PhD,
LCSW,
LCSW,
trained in addictions, substance use also.
EMDR.
I'm trained in hypnotherapy, heart-centered hypnotherapy. I'm trained in sex therapy
Yeah.
and certified in that, and equine-assisted psychotherapy.
Yeah, you're so brilliant. But you know what I love about her brilliance is, she's still really humble and very down to earth and very transparent and it's the soul. You got this really, really good soul and that God-given intellect. You're always like the 1-2, like you're just like, but you're just such a trooper. Like you're such a warrior. You see people like I said, I've known you at least 10 years, right?
Yeah,
You've been seeing people as long as I've known you at their worst.
yeah,
And I know, like, through the grapevine, through the community, because our community, when you're a doer like you, it can be small sometimes. You have your people, and even I get feedback from you, and of course you know my dear friend Dina.
yes.
We
We've been
kind of
friends and colleagues forever.
forever, right?
Yes,
And that's like typical principle, right? You attract what you know.
yes.
So I always look for that too. So for you who are catching this podcast episode right now, just remember that you attract what you know,
That is true.
right?
And from the moment I met you, you were running a group at the center. I was the new clinical director,
Yeah.
and in comes Tim, just showing up. And I could hear you from 2 buildings down with your passion. It's
Uh,
about passion. It's about passion for people.
oh yeah. Yeah.
And the clients that we serve always love your groups and your
Yeah.
message
Yeah.
and what you're doing now with the first responders. It's amazing. I just want to commend you
Thank
for
you.
that work. And we're here to support you and the
Thank.
first responders, because there's huge stigma around getting treatment
Oh yeah.
for everyone, but especially for responders
Yep.
who could get kicked off the force. They can lose their
Yep.
jobs, they
Yep.
can lose everything.
Yep.
And you're
Yep.
providing a way. We find a way, innovators, you say innovators, we find a way to provide what no one else is providing.
Love that.
And
I love that.
your groups were always out of the box.
They always were.
Always out
Always.
of the box.
Well, finding your way out of the hole, this
Yeah.
April it'll be 19 years for me. You have to get out of the box to find your way out of the hole. Because without that, I don't think anything moves as viciously and evil and dark and as slithery as addiction, mental health and what the mind can make up. If the mind thinks of something long enough, it makes this image in your head of what it thinks it's supposed to be like instead of what it already is.
So true.
Right? So I had great coping skills. I mean, I could cop anywhere. You know? You could,
Now you cop recovery
now I cop
for
recovery,
cops.
but I, but I didn't have any coping skills. Doctor, we've been doing this since we've met. You know, we
You
both.
just have fun, right?
Well, we've been given such a gift.
Such a gift, and it's such an honor to be able to serve and help people.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
yeah. Well, it makes me feel worthy instead of unworthy. It helps me connect instead of being disconnected. It helps me repay my debt because somebody like you took their time out, didn't want anything from me to show me a way out. Hey, I found a way out. You want it or not? You know, I can show you if you want it. If you don't, that's fine too. And you know, I
My
think it.
first client teacher was a person with substance use. That was my first teacher that was a client at the homeless shelter where I first walked in at 18 years old.
Oh wow.
And the nun who was running the homeless shelter for
Uh,
women and children
uh,
said, "Okay, well, you're in charge for the next few hours." I was 18. I didn't know what I was doing.
oh my gosh.
So a woman asked me if I could watch her kids for a minute. She's going to go across the street, get a pack of cigarettes. 23 hours later, she still wasn't back.
Oh my God.
So I called the nun,
Yeah.
Sister Pat.
Yeah.
She said to me, "Well, I guess I don't need to come back for overnight because I guess you're it.
Oh wow.
You took it on. You got those kids. I guess those are your kids for the next 24 hours."
Well, I hear
Until
kids. How many?
she had 3 kids.
Wow.
So
Boy, talk about getting thrown into the fire, literally,
thrown
right?
into the fire. What did I know about anything other than my codependency? I didn't know anything about addiction.
Do you feel that was a plus
It was a
then? Like,
plus. It was a plus. She had a good time though. She went out, got super
yeah.
intoxicated, went to a wedding she wanted to go to. She had a whole plan.
Oh wow.
And I was the target for that plan. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And that was my introduction to addiction at 18.
When you say introduction, would you say like it was your hook?
Yeah, that was
Like I
my
really like this. Like I handled this well
I
overall.
handled it really well. Well, it was the biggest mistake I made, but I also handled it with integrity.
Yeah.
And she came back before the 24th hour when we had to call. See, we would have had to call CPS.
So she had that part down to a science.
She knew it.
Yeah.
23 and a half hours later,
Wow.
there she was. She
Yeah.
said she was sorry, and I was like, "Wow." And we had a good talk though, that I talked with
Yeah.
the nun
Yeah.
who was also a social worker. She said,
For
"This is your first lesson in addiction
wow.
and what not to do."
She had total confidence in you
She did though.
because you know, her obligation was on you too. Like, you know, the obligation to the kids, and she's trusting you. And I guess that's a lot of faith, you know, but
And she wanted
also,
me to learn too.
yeah, but what a way to learn.
That was quite a lesson on
Yeah,
fire.
but you know, Doc, where what you're making me think about is every time I work with people, depending on the situation, this is one of those situations you're telling me the story, and I would say, look, my friend, my goal is to help bring everything out that you already have in you, because everything you need is already in you.
That's right.
And boom, you made me think about what I always say to people, and here you are. This nun knew it too. Here you go, Doc. You weren't a doc then, but
Yes, yeah, I know. I was a new
yeah.
undergrad student.
So was this like a lateral, like from high school, you're going into college
Yeah, I
kind of
went to
move?
college. This was my first real internship
Really?
at a homeless shelter for women and children, and that was my
Wow.
first exposure.
Did you get a BSW? Was that your
I got
first
my
degree?
bachelor's in child, family, community
Uh,
studies.
but what about your bachelor's? Was
That
that
was my bachelor's, child, family, and
oh,
community
excuse
studies.
me.
So it was sort of like a blend of psychology and social work.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
it was great. I worked with women and children. I
Yeah,
worked with seniors. I got a lot of general exposure
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Then I went on for my master's in social work in Chicago at Loyola University.
That's where you were originally from,
Yeah,
right?
from
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. But you've
And
been to Florida for a minute
I've
now.
been here 30 years now.
30
So
now.
30 counts as for a postgraduate. So it's actually closer to
Yeah.
40 years that I've been in this
Did you
field.
move right into it too? Like
Move right into
use
it.
the momentum, master's to PhD, just
I got my bachelor's. I did a year as an activities therapist for seniors.
no,
That was a fun job,
yeah, I could see.
making $9 an hour,
Wow.
which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then got my master's so I could make 15 an hour.
Wow. The good old days.
But yeah, I went right back in. I took a year off and I did this activities therapy job. Then I went into my master's program.
Uh-huh.
And then right after I finished, I drove to Florida.
Wow.
I was a straight A student,
Yeah, I can see that.
and
Yep.
I had my new Honda Accord,
Yep.
and I drove it down to Florida because I
Wow.
figured it's just too cold here.
Yeah.
And so I drove, like many people, for the
Oh,
weather here.
yeah.
But
Yep.
I stayed for the weather and the people and all the community I've co-created over the years.
Yeah.
And then I went right into it. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, the universe has a way of kicking me much bigger
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Yeah.
in 1998, I was at a child family community agency where we were doing home visiting. So a lot of substance
Yeah.
use, a lot of families that kids were trafficked for drugs.
Oh,
Kids
gee.
were sold, and I had a caseload of kids and
Oof.
teens. Some have been removed, and this is how I ended up going back for my sex therapy training because nobody knew what to do with these
Yeah.
kids. Not my supervisors, not my colleagues, but I had a mentor that helped me and a therapist that helped me, and they said, "You're gonna have to get some training."
Yeah. Yeah, it kinda gave you that, like, that feeling of powerlessness,
We didn't
right?
talk about even trauma back then. We didn't even talk about trauma yet.
Yeah.
And about 2 years into that program, the clinical director died. Pancreatic cancer,
Oh, gee.
took him quickly in his 50s, I think
Oh,
he
gee.
was. And, they basically said, "You're it." To me, I just got my license like a week ago. The ink wasn't even dry on my license yet.
So what happened to you again that
And
somebody knew?
so this is it happens to me.
Happens
Y
to you a lot, right?
God and the universe will burn
First the
some
nuns
stuff down.
see what the nuns see what you
The
did, sister?
done.
See what you did, sister? You started this snowball effect.
Started a snowball, but it's always been like that. It's like, "Here, I'm gonna give you something really big, and you're gonna run this agency." And I remember this woman, Tony Champlain, she came down from Tallahassee, and she was like, "Listen, you can do this.
Yeah.
You have leadership in you.
Uh,
I see it.
uh,
I know you're a baby supervisor." She goes, "You're gonna be a baby director."
hey, everybody starts out.
She's like, "You've actually already been doing this work for 10 years. You're ready. Even though you're just licensed, you're ready."
Uh,
She wasn't wrong.
yeah, you've
So I took on a team of 30, and we
amazing.
had 2 foster homes, 3 DJJ homes,
Wow.
and 650 families we were serving, and I was
Psh, rocking.
25 and scared.
Yeah, I
I was
bet.
scared, though. That's the thing, is, like, being scared and doing it anyway.
Yeah,
That's
but
a big thing.
that's the skill I think so many people seen in you, or maybe this power greater in yourself knew you could handle. You know that you knew how to manage it because it's really how do you manage it? A lot of people can't. They get too overwhelmed, they get confused or disorganized or whatever, you know. But here you are, you're like the steady Eddie, you
We
know.
just work steady and hard every day like we do,
But
like
you're
you do.
clever and you have that soul, like I was saying in the beginning of the podcast. I think it's the you have the you have the combo to do what you do, and that's why you excel. I mean, gosh, you got 2 books that you brought, in your bag, The Healing Couch Inc., healingcouch, .com. There's 2 books here, and one is Rise Up with Lisa Nichols, and if you don't know who Lisa Nichols is, you should, check her out too. She's an, incredible independent woman, very successful leader, right? She has an incredible story. I know her story from
It's
yes.
in there. It's in there. Funding My
Oh.
Dream is in it's the first
Funding My
chapter.
Dream, I love that
Funding
video.
My Dream
Yeah.
is her story. It's in there,
Oh, is it? And then
and
keys to authenticity, and that's just so important because I think you're perfect just the way you are. I really truly do believe that, and when we're not authentic to ourselves, we get sick.
that's what that book was about, being authentic in business. And Jack Canfield is the iconic author of Chicken Soup for the Soul series.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jack Canfield. So
Oh,
his folks called me, and I thought it was a scam at first when
yeah,
they called me. "This is from, Jack Canfield Celebrity Branding," and I was like, "What?"
yeah. Oh
He
my
said, "We would
god.
like you to write a story in Jack's next book. Would you like to know more about it?" I thought, "Yeah, this is a scam."
It's just yeah, like out of the bl
And they said, "No, well, your name came to us from several directions
wow.
for being able to contribute as an author to this book, of having a vision and a different
Yeah.
kind of business where you run it authentically."
Wow.
And, well, you were part of my team. I run my teams very
Oh,
authentically. I'm
you were
very
great.
transparent.
Yeah, you were great. You were a wonderful person. I was like, now that's how it should be because our industry back then was going through some difficult times, and you were that beam, that light, that like, okay, I'm not as alone as I feel that I am, as far as the moral compass, and you were really there to help, and you were using your gift. You came out of the hole in a different way, over your lifespan, and I came out in a different way, but I really don't like labels to a certain extent, I think whatever we do to recover from something that's not serving us well, I think is really cool, and that kind of intrigues me. Like that's the space I want to get in. Like, what did you do to get out? Because it's really hard to get out of the drain. It just keeps pulling you down and keeps you in that cyclone.
It does for sure.
Yeah,
And, I remember the first time I opened remember when we moved to that new building,
yeah,
had a big office like this size,
yeah,
and I said, I want a big table in here. And they said, why? I said, because I'm going to invite people to sit down for lunch and have conversations.
yeah. I remember. I remember
We used
having.
to
Yeah,
sit there, we would have
yeah,
lunch,
yeah,
we'd laugh, we'd had to close the two doors. The clients would still hear us laughing. They could
yeah,
hear we're just talking about life, right?
yeah.
Because one of the things as therapists is, there's the medical model came into treatment and it was a disservice. It's a disservice to us as people because we're people first
Yeah. I love that.
and therapists and whatever else second.
Yeah,
But, people are treated like a machine, like we're supposed to produce at this certain level and it's not attainable and it's not kind. It's not done in a kind, it's all about productivity. It's about people,
correct.
helping people, and you gotta help the people that are helping the people. And so when I first opened my office door and said, "Yeah, come on in and have a seat,"
Yeah.
the therapists were like, "Who is this lady?
Yeah.
Like, what is this
Yeah,
about?"
yeah, yeah. But Doc, that's a smart strategy, and I think it's a morally driven strategy because when you do that for your people, their productivity increases, and the quality of it is night and day compared to, like you said,
Don't
it's
lead with a hammer. Lead
yeah,
with a hand, gentle hand, say,
correct,
"Hey, I'm here to help you."
correct. I
And
could.
I'd bring bagels, I'd always have food in my office. There's always snacks, protein shakes, coffee. I had a whole coffee set up.
Yeah.
I had a whole
Yeah.
coffee set up.
Yeah, I get it. Our clinical director at Beachway is the same. That's why our therapist would at least amount of times 3 years. She was an intern and we hired her, but that she's 3 years. Every other therapist, I think we have around 13 or 14. She's there like the least amount of time.
And you guys are doing great work, and I know you and Dina would not be there if it wasn't
No,
amazing.
no.
I went there, I did some services one day by special request, the hypnotherapy
Oh,
services,
wonderful.
and I just love the team, the whole
Yeah,
vibe of the
yeah, yeah,
place. It's great work, it's
yeah.
important work, but we have to treat each other kindly and
Correct.
ourselves.
Yeah. What do you do as a therapist that's always seeing people at their worst? You're kind of like a first responder, like over time, do you have any tips that somebody may pick up, listening to the podcast?
One of my things that I do every single day is my morning routine. That really sets up the day, and my first thing is to just connect with my spiritual presence, to do some meditation. Highly recommend meditation practice. I do it every day now. I mean, I started once a week, so start small,
Yeah,
5 minutes, but you can kind of work yourself up. But I do every day. Every day I go for a walk. I take my dog out.
there you
I
go.
leave the phone home,
Yeah, yeah,
and and really, I get up early so I have enough time to get myself ready. Just
ye-
like today, I got up. I
yeah.
get myself ready. I don't like to be rushing out the
No,
door.
not my thing either in the
eh,
morning. Ugh,
Right?
yuck, I hate it.
I go to bed early. I mean, I'm in bed by 11 o'clock, sleeping. I'm sleeping by 11 o'clock.
I'm lying down by 8.
Well, that's great. Good for you. He's looking
And
at me
I'm
like,
and
"Oh, it's early, huh?" Because I'm in
Yeah,
my
you're like,
mind
"It's I
keeps.
go to bed early." You say 11. I'm inside. I'm like, "What?" I'm at 8. At 8:30. I'm in La La Land already.
Well, I often see clients till 8. We have to
Gotcha.
have a dinner and then a
I
wind
got.
down period.
Yeah, it
But
takes you a while to
the
come down.
evening routines, the morning routines, that's one of the things. We're running a on our Facebook group. We have a new group, which is for self-care for therapists and counselors.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we're running a 5-day challenge. So I'll just give you a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
Today's challenge is to
Yeah.
do something outside. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Go for a walk, go for a skip,
Yep.
put the phone down, put all the electronics
Yeah.
off. Because, we're becoming complicit in being a slave to our phones, to
Yeah.
our tablets, to our
Yeah.
computers, to our emails. You know, I'm not on demand as a person.
Yeah. You're not wired like that.
No, no. I like to breathe. I
Yeah.
like to walk. I need breaks. And when people start asking, hello, hello on the text, I'm thinking, this is unkind.
Yeah, like, it's almost like they would expect their emergency to be your emergency.
Or usually it's their non-emergency. If it was an actual emergency, I would answer right away.
Yeah. Ooh, I like I like that.
Because
So
I am
true.
a good responder. We have to know the difference between an
Correct.
actual emergency. I had 2 people texting me on Friday night, and I thought, "Okay, can this wait till Monday or Tuesday, please?" Because they were non-urgent requests. Now, I'm at a women's white elephant event with women executives. We're
Yeah.
having the best time of
Yeah.
our life.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is not an emergency.
Correct.
And it's okay. And I'm not mad at them. I just have to set those boundaries continuously. That's
That's
the other tip is just having boundaries, not only around your time, but your energy, your focus, how and when you respond.
So would you consider putting boundaries in something that replenishes your energy?
It does.
It does, right?
Because it let me have a really good time with my women executives. I've been
Yeah,
part of that group for 6 years.
that's wonderful. And there's all those relationships and
Yeah.
experiences and times, memories, and the
And just
vibes
having
and
fun, and everyone brought a dish.
yeah, I love it.
I made some stuffed mushrooms. I could actually enjoy my stuffed mushrooms because I'm not looking at my phone.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
looked at it once, I answered the text before I went in, and I said, "That's it."
I'm done.
Putting it away, putting that phone
Yeah,
away, enjoying that company, enjoying the good food.
yeah.
We had a lasagna, some
Uh,
stuffed mushrooms. I'm hungry now.
yeah,
And laughs. We were laughing with
yeah.
the women, and we did a white elephant gift where, you do that gift exchange. Number 1 goes and gets a gift, opens it.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 can either get a new gift or steal number 1's gift.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
So we
Yeah,
had a
it
good
creates a
time.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did anybody take another person's gift?
Yeah, they did. I brought this pink robe set with it Juicy, and it was Juicy Couture, and a pink fluffy robe. That thing got passed around a couple times because it came with some really fuzzy socks
Yeah,
and some
yeah.
really fun. It was a fun gift.
Yeah, but that's a true example of like I'm not responsible for what you think of me.
Right.
It's none of my business.
Right.
I'm just doing what I want.
I will do what I want to do.
Yeah,
I got a nice self-pampering gift set though. So I got a nice lotion and a massage oil and a bath poof. Nobody stole my gift.
yeah, that's okay.
I said I really want this.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't say it aloud. I said it to myself. I'd like to really keep this one this time.
Do you take baths for
I
replenish?
do. I
Like
take
that's a,
baths. I have a hot tub at my house. I have a pool and a hot tub.
so
I
you
love
spend
that
time.
thing.
Yeah,
Spend time in there just relaxing. What do you do for relaxation?
I
It's
walk and I run.
nice, still running.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm hobbling because back in my late 20s, I broke my femur bone and my knees all screwed up. But I still, I can still get my 12-minute miles in.
I was like
Uh,
12 miles. I saw that walk you
well,
did
I
for
did not
Saatchi.
100 miles there.
That was
I
insane.
can walk until the cows come home, especially for a cause. When it comes
That's
to mental
amazing.
health, yeah, because my mental health was so screwed up for so long, and I used a lot of alcohol and a lot of drugs to so-called medicate that, but it really wasn't relieving me or accomplishing what really needed to be accomplished, and that was the internal work. I had to go in there and totally expose myself and totally become vulnerable and that it wasn't my fault or I'm not my addiction, I'm not my mental health, it's my programming.
Exactly. You bring up a good point. The emotional sobriety piece, long term, I'm talking about long term recovery, is so important. I can't tell you how many people that we end up serving at our practice that are, they're sober a long time.
Yeah,
They're doing the things, they've
yeah,
got their structure and their
yeah,
routine, their schedule in, but what they don't have is that emotional sobriety piece, that deeper trauma work. I did it too.
Yeah.
I was with my first real therapist for
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying that. I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
therapy.
Me too.
You can't give what you don't have.
It just helps. Yeah,
You know?
for real. But I think, we're so programmed to say good and fine.
That is so true.
And it just keeps our bar so low. Like, I'm better than good and fine. I have all this creative intelligence in me. I have all this. It's incredible, right? I go to sleep and the real power takes over. The thermostats keep working, my lungs keep expanding, like the liver keeps going, kidneys. But what fascinates me is not once do they bicker.
No, they don't.
They just do it.
Naturally.
Naturally, they're so self-governing, they just take care of each other. I get up 8 hours later and, and the body's like, oh my God, here we go again. You know what I mean?
Why can't you just stay in bed and relax? We
Correct.
were having a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
time
yeah, we were.
until your mind came along.
Correct. Here comes the mind crashing the party again. Get rid of that jerk. The guy's a jerk. For real though, right?
Yeah.
So
And the emotional sobriety piece. So we have to learn, right, to dialogue in our mind between the ego, id, driven, want to what is best for us, to that regulating, more inclusive, that includes mind, body, spirit, self, that develops
yeah,
in recovery.
yeah,
It develops with therapy.
yeah.
And we learn the difference and how those sound and feel. They sound and feel a lot different, don't they?
Yeah, but when you're in a good space, man, like somebody like you with a good therapist, somebody who really knows what they're doing, also has experience, like it's really hard to understand something you've never experienced.
True.
You
Like
know,
peace.
like peace. But when you're like when you
Like inner
yeah,
peace.
but when you got somebody like yourself, right? You got this great education, you're the real deal, you got a good soul because you've had to do your own work. I don't care what you're struggling with. To me, that doesn't matter. That's just that just keeps me blocked. Well, I didn't do that. You did. Codependency is an addiction. Sex is an addiction. Food can be an addiction. Beating myself up can be an addiction. Depression. I don't know about an addiction, but I think I can think my way into a deeper depression than maybe I could. If I was working on my thinking, might be able to change that a little bit more, elevate my presence a little more, connect. I
That
think
makes sense.
Right, I think, like, depression's kind of the opposite in a way, than addiction, right? Connection.
Sometimes, though, people do get dug into their tragic identities,
Oh, yeah.
and they do get into thinking that that's the only way to get someone to pay attention
I
or
get it.
someone to care about them,
Yep. Oh, yeah, because it
right?
works. Wherever they come from, it works,
Right.
right?
Being sick physically or mentally, people get into physical
Oh,
illnesses
yeah.
because,
Yeah.
there's always
Yeah.
but really what's and not to stigmatize that, but underneath, right, is a deeper desire for connection.
Correct. Correct.
And
I
that's what drives all of this and why recovery works so well and therapy works so
Yeah.
well is we're craving connection.
Correct. It's innate in us.
But if we
Human.
learn the healthy ways to ask for it and say,
Yeah.
I'm just wanting I'm just wanting some attention. I could call you and be like, Tim,
Yeah.
I just want some company today.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling a little lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know you would answer that call.
100% because it makes the person answering the call feel good too. So it's like win-win.
Isn't that true? And I've been such an over functioner. And
Yeah.
many of us, I know you are too,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
over functioners,
Yep.
meaning we do too much, we're there too much for other people, not enough for ourselves, circling back to
Yep.
the topic about how do we get vulnerable and say, "Hey, I'm having a rough day, I'm having a griefy day."
Yeah.
I've had tremendous loss in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I
Yeah.
knew you when I lost
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
my partner, that was
Yeah.
my soulmate, my husband.
Yep. I remember.
Sudden,
Yeah.
gone. And we're not talking enough still about grief and recovery
Yep.
because, but for me, the gift of the grief is being able to help other grievers and
Mm.
hold space, but also to know when I'm grieving and I need someone to be like, "Hey, I'm lonely today," or "Hey, this was super triggering." I was watching
Yeah.
a show the other night.
Yeah.
triggering.
Yeah.
The person died on the show
Yeah.
in the bed, exactly how, not exactly how it happened, but similar,
Yeah.
parallel experience. I was a wreck. And I had to reach out and just be like, I just need to cry this out. I just need someone, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And luckily, I have an amazing partner
Yeah.
who just was there for me,
Yeah.
just let me sob.
Understood. Yeah.
And we just need to be vulnerable to know what we need and not be afraid of being authentic and vulnerable ourselves. Because you know what? We don't always have it all together, and nor should we.
No.
Do you have it all together all the time? I
No.
certainly don't.
No, I can get overwhelmed in a heartbeat, you know? And as soon as I start going down the hole, that's when I start using my tools, but I can get there real quick.
0 to 60 down the hill.
Backwards. Expecting to stay upright.
But somehow as therapists, we're supposed to keep it all together. But we, you know what? We don't have it all together. We need each other. We need
Correct.
ongoing support. I always have coaches. I have therapists. My therapist told me I don't need more therapy, but he's on standby. He literally told me that for the first time in my life.
Say it again.
He told me I don't need any more
Uh,
therapy right now, but
yeah,
he's here
yeah,
if I need more.
yeah.
That he's happy to do the work. Because what he said to me was, this was an interesting statement. He said, I feel like I'm benefiting more from these sessions than you are. Shouldn't be like that.
And that was very honest of him.
I mean,
Very honest as a professional, like, you know, to put that ego aside and get vulnerable like that.
that's who I attract in my life. I appreciate that. I would
Yeah.
tell my clients the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, if you're ready to transition down, you're ready to step down, you're ready to try on your own for a while,
Yeah, yeah.
try on your own.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but you know, Doc, it's, you know, a therapist is no different than a first responder. There's still a human behind the title, you know, therapist, counselor, person in recovery, police officer, firefighter, you know, doctor. Look at nurses. Nobody thinks of I look at nurses and I'll help nurses through the charity as a first responder.
100%.
100% because not only do they take a vow, right? They take a vow to cause no harm. They might have it different, you know, worded a little differently, but they still take a vow, you know, to serve. But the things that they have to go through over and over and over, they're part of the breakdown. That 0 to 100, 0 to 100, like they're part of the break. It's really hard, man. You know, like somebody's life is in your hands, literally. The fire rescue paramedics, they postponed it, you know, a little bit,
Yep.
but
But still, and they're seeing a lot of death. I mean, and
oh
this
yeah,
is where we get back to the grief
yep.
conversation. We're not talking enough about it. Our young people, I remember one time I was running a group somewhere and someone said, I have lost my whole friend group. And this person's in their 20s. They're like, I lost my entire friend group. Just wrap your mind around that for just a
Mm,
moment. Losing your entire friend group, your entire tribe. I mean, yes, you're running together. So people stigmatize that, but that's still your friends. You know, maybe your friends started in high school, started partying,
mm,
you know? Everyone does some stuff in high
mm.
school, pretty sure. Mostly everyone does,
I would
college.
say, in one way or the other.
One way or another,
Yeah,
they're trying or whatever. And
yeah,
some people get more caught up in it. Some friend groups get more caught up in it than others.
yeah,
Imagine your whole friend group disappearing
yeah.
over a period of a year or two.
Wow.
And now you're a friend orphan. Nobody's talking enough about that grief.
Yeah, it's a
And
lot.
as first responders, as therapists,
Yeah,
we have grief, we lose clients,
yeah,
we care about these people because they're people, they're not just clients to us.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we need to keep talking about these things. That's why like, again, I think we were talking before we went on live, you know, how grateful I am that we have a platform to get out there, Beachway Therapy. You know, it's so supportive of the professional community to host this, to do this, you know, because we need to start talking about this stuff. The talks I had walking, you know, to bring awareness, I figured after 100 miles, I could probably bring a lot of awareness to the mental health needs of the stories I heard. I don't know if you recall, I wear a first responder's flag.
Yes, I've seen
You
it.
know, I have a little zip tie and there's two holes. So instead of flying it, the zip tie holds it around my neck, around my shoulders. That flag has held so many stories in the last 4 years, all the walks I've been on. It's amazing, and it comes to every dinner. And thank you for participating in that this year.
We'll be there again.
It'll be there again. This is your second time now, and that flag will be there on the podium to represent the support, the stories, but also the community like yourself that show up, because we're gonna have some very well-to-do advocates and speakers, and one person that we help, like, or you help, I'd say we, it's you too,
Yeah, we
just a
all.
different, yeah,
Yeah, it's okay.
is coming from Georgia, because we've branched out into Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and New Jersey
It's great.
in 4 years. So
That's amazing. And
yeah,
I'm sure, they must be talking about their losses or wanting a space to talk about their
this
losing a patient.
I can give you a brief one this
Yeah.
year. You know how a fellow was speaking with me. He's like, "I'm very grateful for what you're doing. It's really hard for us. I love how you put it because the goal is to stop at different station houses. And as I'm stopping at all these, I say, look, my name's Tim, man. I'm a Marine who spiraled in the Marine Corps, and it really screwed me up. And it took me almost 33 years to get back out of the hole. Blah, 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 blah. I said, I just created, with others, a space that I call the other kitchen table, because the kitchen table at the fire stations are incredible. Like the stuff that's set around those tables, and the intimacy, they all
Hmm.
cook for each other. So a guy was talking to me. He's like, "Man, I just on my heart to tell you this story. They got to a call. The house was engulfed in flames. Parents were outside. They could hear the children. They couldn't get to them. When they got the house under control and the flame, the fire subdued and started doing their inspections, there were the kids. They were in a room, and in that room was a window, and that really got to the fire rescue fellow. Like, I didn't, if I could only have knew or gotten to that window, I could have pulled them out because they were right there. But they were either scared, frightened, terrified. And when he was telling me that, it just hit me so hard. Like, what an awful thing. These poor children perished, and there was the way out was only a couple feet away from them. And he said it was just so difficult. I always hear the voice. So,
That's a tough one. And we don't get over grief. I don't know why people think that we're supposed to have this mourning period and then we don't miss them anymore.
yeah,
Like
like it never goes
it
away.
never goes away. And
Is
and our
it?
first responders, right? And our nurses, our doctors, our therapists, we're invited to all the funerals.
Oh yeah,
I go. I mean, I don't know if you go. It's
yeah,
always a concern. I know people have concerns. I always ask if they want me to go.
yeah,
And I'm like, listen, I won't identify myself, but I'd be happy to be there if it would
yeah,
be helpful to you.
yeah,
They all want us there.
yeah. Yeah.
They always want us there.
That's that human. That's the other side. Like that's the human. What do you say? Like identity. We all want that hug.
But after the funeral's over, they still need hugs, those parents who lost those children.
Yeah.
Those the parents of people in recovery that perish.
Oh gosh, the
That,
overdoses.
just the overdoses and
Yeah,
those parents, those families,
yeah,
those the sisters, the brothers, they need ongoing support that is just, as I see it, not out there enough right now. We're not having enough conversations. I'm trying to open the conversation more because the grief is real. One of our therapists, Darian, she's offering a quarterly grief support for therapists that have lost clients, and you should see the overwhelming response that she's
I
had
can only imagine.
just from offering it.
Yeah, it's
We need
horrible.
spaces to grieve, to
Yeah,
honor
yeah,
people and ourselves and our feelings,
yeah.
because
You,
it's ups, downs, and sideways with grief.
and a lot of people don't realize too. Like my thought listening to you, I was like, man, as a counselor, I would be like asking myself, what could I do better? What could I have done differently or better? You think that's common with a lot of counselors and therapists?
Yeah,
You know,
always asking, what could I have done
done
better?
better. Yeah, that's got to be hard too, though. Like mentally, sometimes it's gonna get you. It's got to, especially in art, the addiction part of it. There's so many
Yeah,
overdoses and so much loss, and
it's a lot, and it's a lot to carry, but you know what? We're all doing the best we can. My answer is always, you know what? You do the best you can.
and in that moment,
As long as we're present, we're available, we're giving the best resources available,
yeah,
we are
yeah,
you're doing the work.
yeah.
It's not our fault
Is there anything that you see consistently in your practice?
in terms of
Behaviors or needs, or in general, like is there a lot of I did this and I'm ashamed of it, and I needed a therapist because I don't want my family to find out, or is there
There's a lot of shame issues
shame issues? Okay.
around what people do when they're active
Mm,
in substance use, they're active in gambling, behavioral addictions, they're active in acting out sexually that they don't want anyone to know about.
yeah,
Sexual trauma is still a big thing for women and also for men.
yeah.
You think
I
the
think,
women don't want to talk about it? How about the men?
where does that
And
come from, you think, Doc? Like, where, like, to hide it and protect it and the shame.
shame-based
Yeah, but
society.
what? How do you learn that? You know, you go from this little kid that just needs a hug and a kiss to even as little kids, you know, they might be sexually abused and instantly there's that
Well, somebody
shame,
they're told not to tell. That's the first where that comes from.
and
It
kids are so innocent, truly innocent, aren't
so
they?
innocent, and so back to, the kids some of the kids I worked with early that were trafficked, they were told, "You better not tell, I will kill your mother.
Oh
You
wow,
better not tell, I will hurt your family. You better not tell, I will hurt you and your brother."
uh,
And so there's a lot of
it's fear.
secrecy that is bred into this,
Yep,
like all abuse.
yep,
Don't tell.
yep, yep.
Oh, we're gonna say we fell down. We're gonna say, instead of, where the bruises came from.
Yeah,
So, but a lot of, the bruises from the sexual trauma are invisible to the world. And so from very young, they just carry this shame and never come out of it until they do.
yeah. I don't. And
And
a lot turn to drugs, right?
a lot
Alcohol.
turn to drugs,
Yeah,
alcohol to try to numb the pain,
yeah.
food, protection, layers of
Protection. Do you
protection.
think a lot of molested children become sex addicts themselves?
Well, I think that
Okay.
not a lot.
Is there a specific, area that they do show up a lot in,
I, you know,
as molested children,
you
like
a lot become into addiction, a lot
addiction?
become into food issues, a
Uh,
lot of food and sex issues
gotcha.
around that.
Gotcha.
You would see more of who becomes perpetrators would be your conduct disordered
Uh,
person
yeah,
becomes more of a sociopathic person in adulthood where they're already harming animals, they're harming people.
because they were
Bullies.
because they were
Bullies.
harmed, kind of.
Not always.
Ah,
Some people harm because that's what feels good to them. We talked about you can get hooked on stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
To someone
Wow.
who has no doesn't has a lack of capacity to emote or
Yeah.
have empathy,
Uh-huh.
which is the basic definition of someone who's a sociopath,
Yeah.
the only thing they could feel close to that would be excitement.
Uh,
And they get a rise out of harming someone,
g-
unfortunately.
gotcha. They like chaos too.
A lot of
A lot
chaos.
of chaos.
They like to
Disorder.
try to control and bring order, their
Yeah.
form of
Is it
order
kind of
to
like
it.
a fulfilling that lack of purpose, so it gives them a sense of purpose, or it's because their childhood was so out of control that moving or operating like this as an adult gives them that sense of control? You think
Gives them sense of power and
power and
control.
control?
I think everyone looks for that in some way. Maybe it's healthier. They
Yeah,
look for mastery, efficacy.
yeah,
We're seeking a higher purpose, but if they don't have it in a healthy way, they'll find it in an
yeah.
identity in an unhealthy way.
Unhealthy.
But for someone who's criminal minded, you see someone who's a lot of these people are serially doing things to other people. You
Yeah,
see this on the shows too. They're not inaccurate in how they portray someone.
yeah,
If you look at some of the, interesting crime shows and you see why people commit sexual crimes, they are looking for a rise.
yeah.
They're looking for the excitement. And they also usually have some kind of story inside where these people deserved it.
Mm,
Like, for instance, prostitutes, people
yeah.
gifts,
So they justify it,
will you
right?
deserve to be punished, will deserve to be hurt or killed.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's unfortunately, this is why you don't see a lot of justice happening also because societally, there's a lot of bias against women and children still,
it's
unfortunately,
crazy. I know. There's so
which is
much
where you
stigma
see
out there,
so much stigma.
and so many different categories, and
So where those overlaps happen is who ends up in our practice because in adulthood, right, they have relational problems.
mm,
They're looking for longer term healthy relationships. They're looking to reclaim their sexuality after they've been hurt.
Yeah.
And that's long-term work, trauma work.
It's a lot,
And we
right?
do a lot of that. We have one therapist trained in EMDR. Three of us are trained in hypnotherapy. A bunch of us are trained in sex therapy because they deals a lot with the trauma
Yeah.
piece. People always think of the excitement of sex therapy, but it's really to deal with the trauma piece and the compulsions.
Yeah. It's mind-altering experiences. I mean,
Right.
life-altering experiences. Like your yourself is not the same in that moment from then on. Like, right? You have an unfortunate situation. It changes the course, it alters your life forever until you get some help because it's not something that comes naturally.
And people are starting to be able to talk about the drugs, but they certainly don't want to talk about their sexual compulsion.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that get into the party drugs, the meth,
Oh yeah.
and the sex culture and the pornography. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. It's
just
off
don't
the
get me
chart.
started with that. It's really,
Off the charts.
and now people are getting into these the pornography, the compulsions around that,
Yeah.
but they're also getting into having relationships with these chat bots, having actual relationships and marriages with fake people
Oh my.
with a profile.
Oh wow.
People, they've had the first marriage to a profile. I mean,
But,
could you imagine? Could you just imagine a world where people are getting married to a profile,
boy, that really
which
intrigues.
means
That intrigues the heck out of me. So is that like what sets that up? Why does what's going on with the person that would actually get excited, a rise out of something like that? Like,
when you start having 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and they are on the phones this way, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and
yeah,
all their friends are now their whole world is on this phone.
but
We're programming people to do this.
but as an adult, like, have phones been around that long? I guess they have.
They have been. They've been around at least, and this is what we're
At least
looking at.
30 years, right?
Yep. Right around the late 90s, I had my first Nextel phone. Breaker 19.
Yeah, was that like
You know?
25 pounds?
It was a brick.
A brick.
It was a Nextel Motorola phone, and it was a brick for
But
sure.
would that make an adult today? Like, does that bring like fantasy?
Yep.
Kind of like that area kind of,
This is what we're seeing is people are hooked on fantasy. This is why
Yeah.
they get hooked on games. This is why they get hooked on pornography.
Yeah.
This is why they're doom scrolling first thing in the morning. Don't do that.
Yeah,
It's not
you're
good for your mental health. It's the worst thing.
yeah.
And they're getting hooked on these false senses of reality. It's fantasy.
Yeah.
It's pure fantasy.
Yeah.
Even fantasy football. I mean, not to knock fantasy football. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
it's a fantasy league. It's
Yeah.
not real.
It's
We have to understand that Mickey Mouse is not real.
correct.
You
It's
know,
like
these people on OnlyFans, they're not real.
yeah.
You're paying someone who's on the other end happily collecting
A
the
ton of
money,
Yeah.
showing you whatever they're showing you,
Yeah.
but it's not a real relationship.
Yeah.
But people are getting into the illusion that this is a real relationship.
Yeah.
The lines are blurring. The lines
Crazy.
are blurring because, and now the more real everything looks and talks, you talk to this bot and it talks back to you. It says, "Tim, you're looking handsome
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk to you
That's
later.
still a compliment.
You've got work today, right? I can't wait to. What time are you off?
That's
Let's have
perfect.
let's have a coffee
Yeah, that's
later."
spot on.
Right? And
Yeah.
these bots are learning to mimic us to the point where they're having like fembots back in the movies,
Yeah.
learning to mimic and have relationships with us, say what we want to hear, tell me I'm pretty,
Yeah.
tell me I'm
Whether it's
handsome,
true
and
or not, we don't
whether it's
care.
true or not,
We
tell
don't
me
care.
I'm right.
Yeah, we don't care, yeah.
Do you notice online people just want to be right about everything?
Oh.
I don't engage in any of these dialogues, by the way,
Oh,
other than
they go on for days. I look at some of the posts, I'm like, it's 6 days ago, and it's still going. The thread, people still arguing, still fight. Like, it's crazy.
it's insane. This is the problem is
Yeah.
that insanity is becoming the norm and we are getting
Yeah.
way divided.
Yeah, we are.
I have to really limit my social
Me
media.
too. Yeah,
I limit
it's
it
just one big filter.
with no filter on it.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to have a filter when we'd have a
Yeah.
conversation where
Yeah.
we would filter
Yeah.
or temper our responses
Yeah.
considering ourselves and the other person?
Yeah.
Do
I
you think
do
we'll ever
remember
get back to it?
Well, and then not to toot my horn, but I do remember it, and I still apply that to my life. I supported a politician that, I'm not even in the same party as her, but it didn't matter because she's a big supporter, big proponent of first responders, and she has a great moral compass, and so I had to. It's not about party when it comes to that. It's about people who are always there for us and don't ask us any questions until they secure the situation. Then they get into, name and date of birth, but other than that, they don't do all that nonsense. They're there because somebody needs help,
Hmm.
and I need to be there. We need to be there, like, for people who just want to help other people. I don't care. Take that stuff to the booth. That's why we got this incredible gift to vote. Take it to the booth. I
Exactly.
mean, get at
Write a
it.
letter.
Write a letter,
Vote.
advocate, put some money where your mouth is instead of just going and starting all these arguments. And she's a wonderful woman. I support her all the time. I donate, personally to her. And she's not even the same. But for this topic in this area, that's all I see is somebody trying to make a difference with people that are trying to make a difference every day, 24/7, in their communities. I don't get, like, why? Come on, people.
I like though that we could sit down like this, have a conversation,
Love it.
and this is what I look to do in my life too. When
Yeah.
I'm not working,
Yeah.
I'm out having conversations with people I enjoy being with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and not arguing with people online. If I'm online, I'm trying to create something positive. I'm
That's
trying
all
to
I ever do.
create a self-care challenge.
I look at it as the ultimate platform to
Yeah.
make a difference, not to argue. Arguing's easy. That's just easy. You know what I mean? I could do that in 2 seconds. As soon as we're done here, I could put something out there and blow the thing. Use it as a platform. Use it to help people. Use it to, I don't know, something you post today or I post or this podcast might be exactly what somebody else needed to hear. I don't know.
We don't know.
But I'm not in that business because that would be in the business of outcomes. People like me and you are just in the business of delivering the message, and,
That's so true.
and let people hear something that may alter the course of their life, just like when somebody said something that wasn't very nice to them when they were a little boy or girl, and that altered the course of their life. Well, why can't two people like me and you, or the people listening out there, why can't we just say something and be authentic to ourselves, because everybody has worth, and it might alter the course of somebody else's life.
You just never know, right? When your message is
No,
going to get through.
these books that you wrote, keys to authenticity. Like, to me, as a reader now in recovery, there's my instruction. It says keys to authenticity. If I went to Home Depot and the guy said, "Oh, this is definitely the key. If you want to fix that, I strongly," okay. Well, it's the same thing, really. If you just kind of get out of that little box that we may be in that keeps us in there, and we try to FUCK ourselves every day. Get out of the box. It says keys to authenticity. It says rise up. And this is from a woman who's been doing this since she was 18. But even before that, it was just go time for her at 18, if you were listening to the beginning of the podcast. And that's all I'm getting at. Like, we're here to help people. How can how can people get in touch with you? What would be the best way that
Best way
you're comfortable with?
to
Yeah.
get in touch with us is
Yeah.
we actually answer our phone
Oh,
in
wow.
today's day. So we have an executive assistant that answers the phone, and she's a lovely person, also a healer.
Wonderful.
And they can call us at 954-900-6355.
Awesome.
Also, our website, www.healingcouch.com.
Love it.
And they can see who our therapist is. They can see whatever events that we're doing.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to be at your event this weekend. So it's
Yes.
really excited.
I
You're
know.
having it in Fort Lauderdale too. So I'm very excited
Right
about
around the
that.
corner from you, right?
That's great. Down the street, around the corner from
Yeah.
our office.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait to come
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
Bring my famous recovery cookies with
Oh
me.
my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I already put an announcement out there that you were to
Perfect.
the other people in the background.
We've been going to these sober houses in the area and offering some free mindfulness. So if there's anyone out there that has a sober program and wants one or
Okay.
two of our therapists to come. We do a meditation. We show them how to meditate. We show them how to do box breathing. We will do a mindfulness, an accountability check, a healthy relationship talk, whatever you
Love it.
want.
Love it.
No cost.
I love it.
Anywhere in Broward or Palm Beach County. And we've been doing these little mini workshops at their house meetings, and they've been loving them. Oh, yes. And I bring my cookies and I bake
You've
from
always been
scratch.
such a giver, Doc.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I think that's such a I think it's the key to your success. You know, you've been very blessed and you've been very fortunate, you know, and for me, God is using you to the fullest. You know, we need more warriors out there like you. Anything personal you like to say to any, before we take off, because we got to wrap it up? Anything else that you may want to say,
Let's see. Well, I, as soon as I get my new order in of the Authenticity Playbook, which I happened to be writing when Jack Canfield reached out to me, I wrote a recovery workbook.
Oh, nice.
And Dina's in it, actually.
Is she?
Yeah, she has she did a contribution.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'll make sure I get that to you.
Okay.
I could send you the digital copy, but when I get some physical copies, maybe she has copies. I'm out. I'm sold out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check in with her.
But I'm working on my next playbook, which is Phoenix Rising, and it's about helping people to have strategies and tools on overcoming difficulties, because that's what Rise Up's about.
Uh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite books. It's the favorite one I've done so far
Yeah.
with Lisa, because
Yeah.
every chapter has a story by a different author
Wonderful.
that's overcome adversity.
Yeah.
So I want to write a companion workbook for
Yeah.
that to help people overcome and rise
Amazing.
in all the different areas of their life. So that's kind
Yeah.
of what I'm working
I
on.
love it.
Other than that, I love traveling, and that's one of the ways I take care of myself. I go
Yeah.
on cruises.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Just came back from Rome,
Oh, lovely.
and then we did eight of us went together,
Wow.
and we all got along.
And had a
It's great.
blast, right?
Yeah. We got evicted from our hotel. Found our hotels went out of business while we were in Rome. But you know what? We found another 4-bedroom.
Yeah, you adjust, you
bath.
adapt.
We walked our bags down the street, and there we
Yeah.
were. And
Yeah.
we did a cruise back to Fort Lauderdale. So looking forward to more of that.
Wonderful.
I'd love to do one of these for therapists. That's like a wellness retreat for CEUs. Are
Yeah.
you in?
I know a place up in Georgia that you would have access to.
Okay. Well, maybe
A private home.
maybe we'll schedule a retreat
Okay.
up there
Yeah.
in the Blue Mountains.
Yep, right in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
In the Blue Ridge Mountains.
and
Let's do it. Can we collab on that?
Yeah.
I would love to do
Yeah.
that.
Me too.
I think it would be great.
Okay.
We got to take time off. Guys, use your
Yeah.
vacation. Take time off. Spend time with your family. Vacation. Don't work too long, too late. I did do that. I made that mistake back in the day. Not at AARC, but prior treatment center. I was working, the 2 treatment centers
Yeah.
before that, 70-hour weeks. Leave on time. Take care of yourself and your family. Make sure that you take care of your physical, mental, and spiritual health. And we're here if you need us.
Amen.
It's a great chat today.
Yeah, amen. Dr. Bloom, I'm so grateful that you came. I hope between you and I, we obtained our goal, or we reached our goal today, and that was to reach that one person that needed to hear exactly what Dr. Bloom and I covered. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm all over social media. My email is tim.r@beachway.com. And feel free at any time, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And if you forgot Dr. Bloom's, but you remember mine, vice versa, we've known each other for years. We can pass the info on. Until next time, take care of yourself. And Dr. Bloom and I wish you peace and love. Take care.